Okay, so here's Eli's assessment. So, Eli, what I'm going to do is go through what I see and kind of explain it. There's some things limiting us here. It's a little easier to assess some components I might be talking about within your body if you were wearing shorts, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll go over what I see, and then hopefully we can begin working together, and I can show you the training and put together different routines over a period of periodization of training, so over months, and we can get your body into functioning in patterns of movement that it never has. And this will overall help your athleticism, help you enjoy soccer for the rest of the time you play club soccer, and maybe if you go on to play in college, basically making you stronger, less likely to get any sort of injury that's not like contact injuries. Those can always be a problem. It's a physical game. But limiting movement-based injuries like stepping wrong, tearing ligaments or straining ligaments because you just stepped with an unhealthy pattern of movement. So that being said, we'll get into this assessment. Okay, so the first part is just kind of, we're going to go from the foundation up, and we're going to talk about the feet. So right now we have you moving a little bit just to feel some things. And we're going to look at right here. So we're going to say, are the feet straight? And looking here, we have feet pointed out ever so slightly. So they're not quite straight. The next question is the arch maintained? And here, I like to say that maybe here we have a little bit on the right foot, and on the left foot it looks a little less, but there's a bit. So then let's kind of turn you around to see a little bit more right here, where we see the feet going out again, not being straight. It looks less likely that the arch is maintained. Because you're wearing pants, and I know it was a cool, cold, windy day, we're going to look at the Achilles. And we're going to say, is it straight? And from here, I can kind of tell there's a curvature. And I would go as far to say there's probably a little curvature in this one too. So our Achilles isn't quite in an ideal. And if the feet were straight, and the heels were out a little bit this way, we would have a stronger maintained Achilles tendon. This kind of pattern in our feet that we see can load us back into our Achilles in here, and this is weakening this area. It's not in its strongest, most natural position this way. So we fix that by simply having the feet straight and loading out off our foot out this way. And also we'll want to load through here on the outside of our leg. This kind of loading pattern will be strong and give you strength through your feet and your Achilles tendon. So that's what we'll want to progress to. Okay, let's back up and let's talk about some alignment. So is there alignment? And we're looking at vertical alignment on both sides. Okay, so let's look at the left side first. And we have some alignment, and we can see the winds blowing. There's a little concern, and that's this right here, that we have an angle here. Let's do this. The shoulders are off a little bit. So if I draw a line across, you can see that shoulder is a little bit higher. We also see that in the hands here, and I would assume there might be something going on with the hips as well. And already we see the feet that aren't straight and slightly different angles there. So these kind of like misalignments in our body kind of show some potential to poor movement. So then, but as far as our sides, they're not bad. This kind of alignment, it's pretty good. And we'll see it as I turn you here. You also are pretty good. We're not super like dumping forward. You maybe have a little bit right here, but for the most part you're good. And then, as I was talking before about the shoulders and the hips, they're not quite level. Is our spine looking kind of strong? And it is. One thing I like to see here is that this kind of J spine is happening. We want that. But I think our neck is a little compressed forward. We kind of want straight through here. So not much, but slightly compressed. And one thing we can look at for this vertical alignment is our ears, shoulders, and hips aligned. And we can see there's just a slight off with the shoulder. It's slightly off. And that's, as I was talking about, your neck is pushed forward just slightly. It's not bad though. Okay, now let's move into the squat. And so we see you squatting here. And we can immediately see, as I was talking before, about this alignment off here. We got this foot going way out here, this one a little bit less. And as we back up, we can see one thing that's good is we do want the knees opening in this manner. This is fine. But you'll see that they're very different. And then this side that I just highlighted has come inside more. And you can see that we have a strong left knee, stronger shape, foot shape as well. And our right knee is dumping in and collapsing. And you're not really maintaining any foot strength. So that's something we can clean up. Basically, we're going to create a way to find balance throughout your body and strength at the same time. So in our squat, are the feet straight? Nope. Is the arch of the foot maintained? Our left is, like I said, the left, yes. But our right, no. Is there access in our resting squat? So this is interesting. I like to look at the side view, and I like to think, look at this. This is great access. What's going on here? Getting down this low, it's good. But at the same time, we have some issues going on with our feet. We have some issues going on with our knee. And we have some shoulder imbalances. And so all these things, this is all showing up as kind of reds. But at the same time, you're getting low. And you have good loading through here and down through here. That all looks good. The length of the back, really good. So there's good length. That's really important. We're just not pressurizing the right areas. You're creating the right length and you're not having the right pressure and shape to your movement. So it's about finding the shapes, finding the pressure, and because you have the length, it will actually make this process much quicker of a recode process and getting your movement refined. So there is loading to the back. Is there loading outwards? Yeah, we already determined that. There was some. Again, we have good loading here, poor loading here. Look, we're dropping in here, and at the same time, we're pushing out here. All the green, we're maintaining good shape, good function, and this side is dumping in and pushing out and not giving us good shapes. So we see the real imbalance right here. Again, because you have good length, creating the shapes and the pressure is going to be the easier part. This is all good. Now let's move on to the hinge. Oh yeah, here's a good example of us dumping in. Here we're collapsing in. This is a great example of our Achilles tendon not having good shape. We're putting a lot of pressure on our heels. And we again see the same imbalance here. Once you understand where we want to pressurize, I think it's going to be pretty easy to work through the training and find good, really great progress. Okay, so now let's move on to the hinge. Okay, so here, again, great length. In almost no effort and very close to getting our hands to the ground, our fingers touching our toes. That's awesome. This is tough for soccer players, and that's good. But are the feet straight? No, they kind of maintain the same thing they have through all the movement, which is normal. Let's see if our arches are maintained. And here, right here, we go a little bit forward, and we're right there. The feet look pretty flat into the ground, and I would say they're probably collapsing in a little bit, so the arches aren't super strong. But again, the length is good. The other thing to see would be how our knees are, and because you're wearing pants, we can't really see that. But what we want our knees to slightly internally rotate, and we want that internal rotation at the femur and the hips. So we want our feet straight. We want to slightly internally rotate. We want to be pressurizing on our outside edge and maintaining our arches. Once you do that, and because you have great length, you're going to find a lot of movement unlocking. Now we will have to clean up our right side, because no wonder your left side is kind of feeling more pain. It's kind of overcompensating for the right side. But yeah, it's not bad. Not bad because of the length. Again, same thing I keep saying. We will create the shapes and the pressure through the training, and it will be great. Okay, let's move on to our walk. So right away, we see the foot shape. It's going to be amazing when you change this. We see one step. Right here, we can see that this arch is not maintained. Collapsed arch there. And I can kind of see the way our foot lands. Let's back that up. Look at the first part of our foot that makes contact with the ground, our heel. So we're really on that inside edge. Our ankle bone is low, and this is the exact opposite of what we want. We want that inside ankle bone to be high. We want to maintain on the outside edge of our foot with straight feet. And we want our heel to be away as we maintain that strong arch. Again, what we really want is we want that outside to in, and we're going to create a spiraling, and that's the energy traveling through your leg. When we do that, then you'll be in alignment. That will be the strong movement that we want to develop in your body. So the other thing to look at here, is our upper body. Let's go back a little bit. And how is our head controlled? And this, we have some good movement here. Let's have you coming towards me. And what we see on this step, it's slight. But we have a slight head that's shifted over the foot. And that's what we want. Again, we want this heel away and that energy spiraling. But you have a good pattern of movement in your walk. We just need to fix some shapes and some pressure. Let's go back. We're landing on that left foot. Our head is slightly over to that side, and we want that. And look at here. Our shoulders in our walk is much more even. Our hands are closer, but you're starting to see better shapes in your movement. And that's also going to lead to making the exercise and the training easier. Let's check out the run a little bit. Again, here we see this inside ankle bone. It's low. We're not maintaining that arch. We're really pushing off our big toe. And we see that same shape that's going to land here. Ideally, we would have this heel away and our foot landing straight. But let's see what's going on with your movement. Probably right there. That's a better landing for sure. But I can almost see the big toe is so up. We're really landing on that inside and kind of, let's see a little bit if how our inside ankle bone is. And right there, we go back, we land, collapse. And that is what we want to avoid, that collapse there. That collapse is showing a real weakness in our landing. Again, there's some good things going on. The head over to the side. I'm seeing more evenness across our body. So we're shifting that energy. We just need to, again, same thing I'm going to keep saying, clean up the shape and create the right pressure through the shape, which will be strength that you develop through the training, and it will clean it right up. So again, what we don't want is that collapse of that ankle. Right there. Oh, collapse. Right. Inside ankle bone collapses. Then you take your next step and collapse again. So we're not maintaining that arch. Anyway, this kind of shows the key parts of your movement that we want to train. And the actual training itself will be interesting because it's going to recode the way you move, and it will be like starting from the ground and learning to walk. So we'll start on the ground with the yoga mat, learning to pressurize, learning to create shapes. You'll have exercises that create this backside pressure. We want to make your whole movement backside dominant. So here we want to be strong in our hips, in our arches with our straight feet. We want our knees to be strong. We want our upper body to be strong. We want to decompress a little bit there. We want the shoulders. We want everything strong through the backside so that our movement patterns are strong. So I hope this helps. I'd be really excited to work and start this training. Like I said, we can meet one time a week, show you the exercises, I give you the workout, and you go do it. You add it into a pre-training routine where you're maybe training it 20, 30 minutes before you go to practice. You use it as a warm-up before you leave for a game. And you just meet with me once a week or every 2 weeks, and we kind of put together, assess where you're at, see how your body's responding to the work, and we go from there. Yeah, I hope this is informative, helps, and you start to see some of these things that I'm seeing. And yeah, let me know. That's your assessment.